Hello, all you beautiful folk out there, beings, whatever you might think you are. I'm going to tell you a story and weave some things together so that you can understand dreams and the tarot and magic and what we call this reality and some places I've been and experiences that I've had so that it could bring more light and wisdom to your life of giving an understanding of even mind control, MK Ultra, whatever that programming is. Is it programming? What the TV is doing. And I adjust the intensity and the quality and the sound of my voice for because I like doing it. It's fun. It's enjoyable. And you should do things that are enjoyable too. But here we'll start from a little bit of a story, and then there'll be little trinkets and gems if you listen close enough of wisdom that you can take and apply to your life. So make it to see things different, to understand things differently, to innerstand. And then we always do that. We say innerstand, we say overstand, we say those things. We don't need to understand or understand or overstand anything. We just need to be whatever we are. Remember that. So if I can tell you some stories and it will make some images in your mind. That's why this image is on the page. It's called it I Mage. So I'm a magician. Just like you are. It's in your imagination. It comes forth out here in all this sparkling, wonderful, beautiful reality. But I'm going to tell you a dream that I had, and I'm going to tell you two things that, well, it seems like everything yesterday was a dream, right? Everything in the past is a dream. See? Just went black right there. See how this happens? As if it didn't ever... Oh, there it is again. Just to illuminate something. To give you an idea. This is... Interestingly, in the weirdest place, there would be such a beautiful piece of art. The weirdest places. So, I'm going to tell you, so how this functions, how the curious, wondrous, brilliant mind of the crazy folk like Zen out here, how we explain stories. And we tell you this, that right now here you are, there is existence. And then we'll tell you the portal that it came through, is all of your thoughts. And then tomorrow will be whatever, tomorrow doesn't really come until you think about it, and then you get that in the future, whatever you think your future is. So when we look into the past, we see it. Everything in the past seems to be a dream. But I'm going to tell you a story, one on this physical dimension, which seems to be... I'm going to tell you two things seems to have happened on this dimension, whatever this plane of existence is during the timeline that I exist upon. And I'm going to tell you one thing that was a dream that I had. And it was all around the same time. We would call it time-space. When I happened to be 5 years old, there was three things. And I'm going to weave this into the mandala effect, the butterfly effect, the MK Ultra, which is monarch, like a butterfly programming, and immortality, and what the tarot is, and what rota is, and spinning wheels, and wisdoms, and it's just a weaving and webbing of information together to lighten up and brighten up your day. So when I was about 5 years old, and oh yeah, and it's a Cabbage Patch Kids. How's that? Does anyone remember Cabbage Patch Kids? Well, this is a story of a dream that I had when I was 5 years old. And it was right around the same time these other two things seemed to happen in my life, like for real. Like, you say, oh, that was really real. That was really, like, for me, everything is just, whatever. It's just in the past. It was all just a dream, right? But, like you right now, where you sit, what you see is like, man, yesterday, oh, this person and these people and that, the TV and it's all, but it adds weight on you. It adds weight to your skeletal system. It adds weight to what you are. And you don't have to wait to be what you are. See, I'm giving you just a fun little joyride and journey into what the programming system was. It doesn't really exist anymore. And if it did exist, it might have actually been for a good reason. Planting star seeds. What is a butterfly? It comes out of a cocoon. I won't talk about that movie. So, when I was young, and if the Cabbage Patch, man, 5 years old, and this is the dream that I had. Walking through this house, and this is the most vivid dream, the only dream I remember when I was a child, the only one, just a singular dream. I was walking in this house, through this house, and my mother figured my life was cleaning houses, and so I went with her to clean houses, and I walked through this house and go up to the attic, and in the attic was a bunch of games. I think there was might have been like, it was, what's that game? It's like a soccer game with the little paddles there. You know that one. Well, there was nobody else up there to play with, but I was like, I'll go play around with this thing. There was board games and all sorts of things, and I was like, what? I can't play these things by myself. So I was like, oh, let me go outside. So I go outside. I had to go down a flight of stairs, out the side door, down a flight of stairs, got on a tricycle. And I took this tricycle and I started biking. And I remember there was this feeling of it was like Friday the 13th, like Freddy. Like Freddy Krueger. And I was like, it was this dense feeling that I was like, well, get away from that. That's no good. What that was, it was in a suburban neighborhood setting. And I was like, oh, and I took this tricycle and I went over and I found this cabbage patch. It was huge. Field, infinite space, 360 degrees in every direction. And there was one building that was white. It wasn't even a building. It was just 4 pillars and a covering. But the rest was just completely wide open. And there was a table in there and with cabbages. And it was so interesting because I biked over to this huge field of cabbages. Why? Okay, so there's the dream now. Was it because I was watching cartoons and because my parents got me a Cabbage Patch Kid thing off of the, went to the Toys R Us and got that for me? I don't know. But it's a very interesting effect of, man, why do right now, at this place in my life, the one dream I remember lots of my dreams. I have lots of vivid experiences everywhere in all sorts of different dimensions and places and times and locations and all of this. It's all here inside of my memory banks, and I just explore all of that. And this one dream when I was a child of 5 years old, why was I in a Cabbage Patch? Why is that where, And then, here we go. Oop, flip over real life. It seemed, it seemed real dense. It was my real life. I was 5 years old, though. And there's 2 things that I remember very, very clearly and vividly about that time that were very confusing to me. And I'm like, what? Where did I, it's about the first time I can recall existing in any when you go, when did you start to exist? As a baby? Do you remember when you were 1 or 2 or 3 or 4 or 5? No, there's always, most people have a specific place in memory that they go, okay, this is when I started to exist. And it was when I was told I had a problem slurring my S, L, and R's. I was slurring because my tongue was too big for my mouth or something. And so they told me, what I remember is, I recall this, and by the way, I was adopted, so here, throw this into the mix of what a fun, strange little ride it was. I'm adopted, so who are my parents? And all of a sudden, these 2 people bring me to a hospital where they told me I had a speech problem. And when I was there, I don't remember anyone doing anything to help me speak correctly. I remember them playing games. Like, here, can you put this block in the star, or the star does the, how do you, and there was a bunch of games to play, and it was like they didn't do anything about whatever my problem, my speech was. But what I remember too is walking out of the room, but there was a smaller room with a two-way mirror in it, where people got to kind of go in the small little room to watch whatever I was doing. At 5 years old, I remember it's so weird, so vivid. I remember walking down this hallway into this room where like two-way mirror, and I was like, why do I remember that? Why is that so clear and vivid in my memory? They didn't help me talk better. They didn't help me my speech patterns. But I did remember as well, just around the same time, what they said is, actually, the problem is we're going to have to remove your tonsils. So I get taken to a different hospital, and they put anesthesia on me. They give me laughing gas or whatever it was, and put me under, remove my tonsils. Don't worry, you can't eat solid foods for a while. Everything's going to be sore. Here, have some ice cream and sit in this wheelchair. And they, at the time, like, well, what? This is weird. You just put me in a wheelchair? Because I got my tonsils out? How does that even connect? How does that even make sense? But those two things, so vivid I mean, it's like, well, it's a dream to me. It's just a memory, just like that third dream that I told you about. But you put that into this whole giant, like, whoa, the whole matrix of all what's going on in the whole world. And I tell you all of this, and I give you this little story about whatever the program is, MK Ultra. Oh no, it's a evil, demonic, satanic thing. Or is it not? Is it to teach you to control your mind? How does your mind work? There's a book called Mind Control by, I can see it's blue. What's the guy's name? It's a wonderful teacher. Whatever. You look it up. It's about how to control, manifest, and control your mind and manifest desires out of, like, all of these people that teach about the law of attraction, the wisdom of the sages is, they broke it down and made it into one thing. Here's how you control your mind. And the shamans and well, just jumped over there from mind control to shamanism. Shamanism is a she-man. It's a he-man. It's a she-ra. It's a woman-man. It's a binding of fire and water, or a balance of pH. That's the teaching. It's very simple, right? So how do you balance your pH out? How do you control your mind? I mean, do you need to control your mind? I mean, your mind's just going to have thoughts running through it, thought forms and whatever. And what was the whole project, right? How do you project things? Are you projecting it from your mind and your consciousness? This is an example of how you can project from your own consciousness. It's called a projector. So project forth in, it's how your mind's eye, but most people, it's dark in your mind. It's just darkness. But you can just start to play around with, I kind of see it, see whatever you want, and then walk into that vision. And that's what light is. That's what you are. That's what you're made of. You coagulated. You densified yourself. You are a light being. And then you expressed yourself down here, and denser, here we are, and we're telling these stories to each other to lift people up. This is how the whole story works. Oh, you've just fell down, you bumped your head, you were confused. Here's some light. Your water and your light, and you put those together, and you get all of your memories and all of that. So the story, as it seems to be, was a story about the strange past of this confusing upbringing of, hey, why was I adopted? Who adopted me? Who couldn't? What were you looking for? What am I? How does this happen? How does this entire world exist? Did my higher self just drop me here and say, oh, here you go, seed. It's just let's turn you back into what you already were. Because when don't worry, you chose to be down. You chose to densify it so you could show people light. So what do the sages do? What do light workers do? They just go, oh, hey, I'm awake. I'm conscious. I'm fully well aware of the entire process of creation. Here's what Tesla was teaching. Here's what the Buckminster Fuller was teaching. Here's all of these great teachers. There's so many of them. Look all over the place. And the ones that woke up, meaning to just go, oh, there's fire in the mind, there's a flame or whatever in your heart, your soul, your being. You become a being because you were a being. You fell down, you hit your head, you go, oh shit, well, I'm awake now. What's going on here? How's it going? Oh shit, we can create anything we want. Well, let's go create something. What would you like to create? I think everyone, it seems to me, it feels like it's apparent to the world that everybody wants happiness and love and family and kindling and fires, and there's the fire, just sit around that and shooting the shit, talking, playing storytelling, because that's how the shamans worked. They sat around a fire. There's 12 of them. They would harmonize and they would make one single note, what you'd call as a frequency. You just go home, or you could say any frequency you want, and that would just be the wavelength, and it would be compressed through 12 shaman around the one fire, and they'd push it all into there, telling a story, and that story would become what is our world, what is your reality, how you express light and wisdom to everything. Like you're all part of my story, but I'm also part of your story, because you're the same thing as me, sitting on the other side, making the same tone. And then we sat around the flame, drinking whatever, fire, drinking the fire, breathing the air, the oxygen, water. Oh, did we have to do any of that? No, we were on a higher plane where all we just sat there. We didn't even have to breathe, because that's where you came from. There's no breathing when you take a nap. You don't, and you have a dream. What happens in the dream? You ever tried breathing in a dream? You ever tried that? You don't need to, because it was just your mind. Your mind doesn't breathe. And then we were like here imagining, we were speaking telekinetically. We were just pushing information out of our heads. As all of us, shamans, she-mans, we were in a sense, without any, there was nothing to say. We just, boom, put it forth with our mind, and we created density, which then we all came down here and played in. But some of us, like when we were coming down into this like dense reality, we go, oh shit, hey guy, come back over here, buddy, huh? Hey, remember, we split up, because that's now you're a woman and I'm a man, and but we're the same thing up there. Come here, come on, come back into this giant thing. We're just shamans sitting around a flame, telepathically communicating. And now we have to help the people that came to the lower realms and densities. We have to use our vocal cords to resonate and to say, this, can you hear closely? I go, okay. We're breathing down here. Is everybody breathing? And then we, okay, good. Now, here's how we communicate here. But we're not doing it from here. We're not doing it from the physical form. We're doing it from a higher dimension. And you are too. That's, you are that as well. It's fun. It's nice. It's a good feeling to know you're a shaman, to know you're from there. Because that's what you are. Join the family of shamanic brotherhood and sisterhood and traveling around in this strange little spaceship Earth in our spaceship bodies, and well, then go off to explore everything, whatever we want to do. Stay awesome. Hope that was a fun fort.